Hey everybody, Nick and Oscar here. So the movie is finally finished. The Game of Life is complete. It's in the can. The first trailer is actually online right now. If you haven't seen that, please go check it out and come back here when you're done. The link is at the top of the description of this video. So the film is all done. Where can you actually watch it? Well, I don't know just yet. Right now, the plan is to submit to film festivals. I've submitted The Game of Life to a number of them, some of which require world premiere status, meaning your film cannot have been seen by the public before the festival. So you won't be able to see it until that whole festival journey plays out. And that's a topic for a different video. And yes, for those of you who are curious, I will definitely talk about film festivals at some point here on the channel. But what I think is going to be a little bit more interesting for more of you out there is how we put together what I think is a very solid, high-quality movie without any real money. This film had the most shoestring of shoestring budgets, and my hope, honestly, is that the film serves as a good example of what can be done without a lot of resources using today's technology and opportunities. And what I want to talk about today is talent, because this film managed to feature some of the most incredible talent that exists local to me in the Denver metro area. We booked a number of actors who are used to working on much larger and higher budget productions, and we did it without any real cash to speak of. So how'd we do it? That's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to give you a brief rundown of the situation from my perspective, and then we're going to talk to one of the stars of the film about why she signed on for the project. Her name is Natalie, and she is a national television personality who has hosted over 800 episodes, I believe, of shows on the QVC network, where she's valued for her expertise in the culinary world. She's extremely fluent with the language of video and cinema production, and she was an absolute pro on our set. She also brought us a few things to eat that she'd made, and they were absolutely out of this world. She made us some homemade focaccia bread with like scratch-made lemon aioli. It was insane. Anyway, we're going to talk to her about why she chose to apply for a role on my little film. But before we get there, let me set things up for you. Back in early 2024, I had just completed the script for the film, and I was starting to investigate how I might be able to make the movie even without a real budget. I realized that the opening 10 pages of the film were this perfect little prologue. Those pages were all set inside a single location, which is a studio apartment, and it's played just between two actors, one of whom was always going to be me. I figured maybe I could dress my bedroom as our set. I already have a camera and some basic equipment, so all I really needed was a couple of helping hands behind the camera and an actor to play my scene partner. Once I realized that, we were kind of off to the races. You know, making an entire movie feels like this impossible goal, but shooting a 10-minute scene in my own bedroom, I mean, that's something I do all the time here for YouTube. So I made a bare bones Craigslist ad and found a few folks there. Craigslist is not necessarily the best place to look for production talent, but I didn't know that at the time, and I ended up just getting really lucky and finding some amazing people. We shot for 3 days and got the prologue in the can. I could make a whole video on just getting that piece off the ground. Let me know if you're interested in that. But we're going to skip forward. Once the prologue was done, it became something like a proof of concept for the film. I cut it together, color graded it, processed the dialogue, recorded Foley, made a score, and now I had this little asset that I could use to show other people what the film would be. And for basically the next year, I planned how the remaining 100 pages of the script could be shot in a similar fashion. I designed props and sets, mapped out the script on a spreadsheet, organizing scenes by location, noting their page count, just basically preparing as much as I could. So I had basically a short film finished and a bunch of plans, and those were my assets. I could make an entire video talking about just that, how to divide the movie into days and scenes and locations, that planning part, because that was a critical component of making this film on such a small budget. But again, today is about talent. So with a prologue and a plan, both finished, I went back to look for talent again. But now I wasn't just posting a bare bones ad, I had images of the film, what it looks like. I had proof that it was actually happening. And I had a really clear plan about when, where, and what we would be shooting. That was all in the ad, specific dates, times, locations. That kind of thing is really important to talent. No one wants to waste their time on what you hope to do, no matter how amazing you make it sound. But the whole world will stop in their tracks and help you out with something that you are doing that they can actually see with their own eyes. And I didn't post to Craigslist this time around. There are much better resources that I discovered by this time. Backstage.com is one. It's a really good and comprehensive resource for both talent and producers. And local to my area is a Facebook page called Galina's Casting, which is for projects specifically shot in and around the Denver area. You may have a similar resource in your area, just ask around. I got a flood of responses, including the subject of today's interview, Natalie Lockitts. Natalie was cast as Jenny, one of the largest roles in the film and the love interest for our protagonist, Jack. As I mentioned, she's a national television personality. She frequently gets flown to the East Coast to film on very large and busy sets. So how on earth did she end up shooting on my tiny little project? Let's talk to Natalie and find out.
I love it. I love that you're loving this.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make you nervous.
No, I love it. I just, memorizing lines versus just ad lib. Here we go.
Yes. So for those who don't know Natalie yet, this is Natalie Lockitts. She plays Jenny in the film. It's a sizable and really important role, but actually you don't show up in the movie, at least in a speaking line,
right,
until about 2/3 of the way through.
Mm-hmm.
But you might have maybe the most prolific career of anyone in our cast, right? I think.
Wow, that's so nice.
Your bio says you've been on national television like 800 times.
In a very different kind of television, but on QVC doing food cooking shows. So yeah, tons of that. This was my first memorizing a script and working with a crew to create more of a story instead of kind of talk about food. So totally different, but super fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so tell me a little bit more of that. I know that you're, a super culinary master, and Natalie even gave us some cooking-ware as little wrap gift that we use every single day now, and is amazing.
I love it. That's my favorite gift to bring.
Oh yeah, and you made us some focaccia breads and homemade mayo and aiolis that were
That's what I'm really
incredible.
Bringing to the set more than anything is the food.
But tell me about sort of that experience. You go and you fly out to the East Coast and film on studios that are probably 100 times larger than what we have here, with so many more people and craziness and
yes. Those sets are wild because that's all live television. So basically the opposite of what we did here. Tons of cast and crew, but also, similar in that you're working with a small group to kind of get the job done. But live television's totally different, lots of chaos all the time, which I love. But I'm being myself. I'm just talking about things that I'm into, cooking and food and nutrition and my family. So for this, I was so excited and nervous to kind of play someone totally different. Even though I related to Jenny in so many ways, I feel like this was the first time I was going to go be somebody other than myself.
Yeah.
So that felt very exciting and different. But I love the excitement of the cast and crew. So we had that here too.
Yeah. So one thing that I sort of talk about a lot on my channel is just sort of process and equipment and sort of solving problems.
Yeah.
And I think that's something I want to focus on a little bit in this sort of behind the scenes series, is how we solved particular solved particular problems on such a low budget film. Right. So we're not your live QVC sets with 100 producers running around with headsets, saying,
for sure.
Whatever. But I think that's going to be really interesting to the audience in terms of how did we try and make a movie look good with very little out there. So one thing in terms of how you play into that is how did you come to find the project? Like you said, you were interested in doing some more narrative work as opposed to sort of live things on QVC. What was your process in terms of searching out this project?
Yeah.
And what made you say okay, I'm going to go ahead and submit an application?
Right. So I felt when I moved here, I was okay, I want to get into more Denver local projects. And when you posted on Galina's Casting, just on Facebook, I saw that and I think a lot of everyone that you cast would agree that what you shared, which was, I think, some still shots from the first chunk of the movie that you filmed the year before, and then maybe the first few minutes of live video.
Yeah.
I saw like the quality of the story and the quality of the filming and just like how beautifully it was coming together already in those first few minutes that I was immediately excited to, try and be part of a project here in Denver that with someone that was obviously passionate about making the story come to life. So I think it was really like seeing those still shots and hearing some of the story that you shared that made me really excited. And also just working with a group of people to tell a story, not, like sell food or cookware. It just sounded really fun to be part of it from like a storytelling creative side. And yeah, everything you shared was like so professionally done and so beautiful that it felt really exciting to get into a project that was well underway already. And, just try and be part of the rest of the story.
Okay, cool. So for those that haven't been on this channel before, I have discussed this, but I'll just set up what you were just saying a little bit more. So this film was made in basically 3 blocks. There was a 3-day block of shooting that was in early 2024. That was the first 10 minutes of the film. Those are self-contained. They're just in like a studio apartment. And I shot that with a really small crew. I mean, even smaller than what we ended up later, but still about the same size, just a few people. And it was just me, one other actor in the scene, Brittany Shanka. She plays Ellen in the film. And it's like the opening prologue. So we shot that over the course of 3 days, and I edited it and sort of cut those scenes together. It was kind of like a little proof of concept of the film.
Right.
So that when I went to the remaining 100 pages of script, I could show people something. So that was my goal, was to be able to attract better talent with something, right?
And it worked.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear that. So it sounds like it was a combination of you being in the right place to want to take on something, even if it wasn't, a big budget production, and also having some sense that this wasn't just, somebody's aspirations, that it actually was going to come to fruition.
Right.
I think I heard that from a number of different people. Like, the reason I signed on was because it seemed like it was actually going to happen.
And you had a very clear concept of the quality of filming that you could tell was going to, very likely go through the whole movie. So that was for sure the reason you got so much attention and submissions, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what your experience was like then on set.
Yeah.
Comparing that to what you do on much larger productions to this, which was, very much by the seat of our pants.
Right.
And, okay, we're going to just move this light over here.
Yeah.
And like, does this look okay? Like, how does that compare? Or...
Well, yeah, I was super nervous actually from the intimacy of such a small crew, because like sometimes at QVC you're a little bit anonymous with how many people, but also really excited to get to know everybody. I feel like the way you guys changed the scenes on set, which we're sitting in right now, was so dramatic and fun to see every day. With QVC, we kind of have our own rooms where we do what we do. And, you have like the kitchen here and the cafe there and whatever, it's all set up. But, Nick was creating different scenes every single day to make an entire bar scene or a strip club or a psych ward or a hospital room. And that was so fun to see the creativity. And I said to you multiple days, I'm so glad I'm not on that side of it. I'm so glad I'm on the side that I just get to show up, because you guys were doing such amazing dramatic things to change the sets every day. So I was super impressed. It felt intimate, but special, like it, super fun to get to know everybody really well every day. And then those nerves kind of went away when we became friends and knew everybody. But the smallness of it felt so special, especially seeing like the quality, because it's going to be a big, beautiful project. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, very impressed.
No, I think it can go kind of two ways. Like sometimes when we're building those things out, like building the bar set,
right?
From certain angles, it looks great and you're like, oh my gosh, this is a totally different environment and I
Right.
believe this. And then you see it from another angle and you can kind of see the cracks or the seams and
Right.
you're like, oh, this really is like a tiny production. But to some extent that's true even if it was like a big production, you know,
Right.
like you turn one way and now there's nothing because it's an empty warehouse, whereas like now this way and that's your set.
I mean, I was blown away every day. My like learning curve of what I thought went on behind the scenes to like what actually went on. I felt like I learned just like I was blown away every day by the creativity and just how you could make a space kind of come to life for your vision.
Yeah.
So super fun to see on my end of not being familiar with that.
I can't wait to show you the movie. So Natalie hasn't seen it yet. She's seen a couple little pieces.
Can't wait.
You came back for a reshoot
Yes.
maybe like a month ago
Yep.
or something, and I showed you a little bit. But
The best.
yeah, and a bunch of those shots from the reshoot actually ended up in the trailer.
It was
which
meant
is
to
so
be.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell Nick every daily shot or little piece of the film feels like a Christmas present because it's so much fun to open and see like how he's edited it and how the lighting looks and just the choices we made, and it's so fun to see.
Yeah, I love those. If sometimes I think of them like bricks, like
Yes.
you're building a giant brick wall or something. Each day is like this huge effort, and
Right.
you get one brick out of it. You know.
Totally.
Yeah. But
Can't wait to see it.
so what's next for you? Have you found any other projects you're interested in?
I have not, but it's all I want to do now, and it's
Yeah.
totally given me so much excitement for the next thing. Yeah, right when we like wrapped filming, I was like, okay, I gotta go find the next thing because it was just so much fun to really like create for the only goal being tell a story,
Yeah.
not, sell some cookware, which is also great. But this has been so eye-opening and so fun. So
Awesome.
yes,
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody watch it.
Yay.
Natalie was amazing.
so fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See, that wasn't so bad, right?
Well, I mean, I never want to see any part of that.
Okay, so once again, a huge thanks to Natalie Lockitz, not only for her wonderful role in the film, but for sitting down to talk to me about it. That interview was filmed just before a private cast screening, where the cast and crew of the film got to see the finished product. So at the time we recorded that interview, she hadn't actually seen it yet. But now she has. I think the reactions are generally positive from everyone on the cast and crew. Of course, we all love our own babies and bringing them out into the world, but I'm really excited about this film and what people are gonna think once they actually finally see it. So thanks again to Natalie for coming out. Thank you, all of you, for watching this. I have some more of these types of videos and interviews in the pipe. I wanna talk a lot more about how this project came together, especially with the limited resources we had to bring it to life. So if you have any questions about that, anything that I mentioned in the video, or any other questions that you have on your own, let me know in the comments. I read them, I reply, and this is a really exciting phase of this project. You know, the film is finished, and now I get to talk about it and sort of help bring it into the world. So let me know what you want to know about this project, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much.